Imagine you meet someone new tomorrow. You reach out your hand, but instead of shaking it, they step in close, lean toward your neck, and quietly breathe you in. They smell you. You'll be horrified. And yet, for almost all of human history, that was hello. Long before the handshake, before the wave, before the polite little nod, humans greeted each other nose first. They pressed close and read the story written in another person's scent. And here's the strange part. You still do it today, without ever noticing. So today's question sounds absurd until you dig into it. Why did ancient humans greet each other by smell? Were they behaving like animals? Were they too primitive for words? Or were they reading information about each other that we have simply trained ourselves to ignore? To answer it, we need a greeting that shares your breath, a kiss that was never a kiss, a hidden laboratory experiment about handshakes, and a secret smell that still tells your body who to trust. Let's open the file. First, let's kill the obvious assumption. We treat the handshake as if it were ancient and universal, the natural way humans have always said hello. It is not. For most of the human story, there was no handshake at all. Instead, across the ancient world, greeting meant getting close. Face to face, skin to skin, breath to breath. And a huge part of that closeness was smell. Because before you had a name, a passport, or a spoken word, your scent was your identity. And that is not poetry. It is biology. Every single human being carries a personal scent as unique as a fingerprint. It leaks from your skin every second of every day, and no two people smell exactly alike, not even identical twins raised on different food. And packed inside that invisible cloud is an astonishing amount of information. Your scent can carry your health, whether you're fighting your diet, what you have been eating, even your mood, because fear and stress change the way you smell. Now put yourself in the ancient world. No ideas, no records. A stranger walks toward your family, your fire, your children. In 2 seconds, their smell could tell you things words never would. Are they sick? Are they afraid? Do they smell like your people or like an enemy? So smelling a stranger was not rude. It was intelligence gathering, a fast, silent background check run by the oldest sense you own. Long before the brain that speaks, humans had the brain that smells. It's very good at its job. And this is not lost history. Smell greetings are alive right now, and some of them are breathtakingly beautiful. Start with the Maori people of New Zealand and a greeting called the hongi. Two people lean in and press their noses and foreheads gently together. Then they breathe in slowly at the same time. It is called the sharing of breath. In that moment, according to tradition, a visitor stops being a stranger and becomes one of the people, tangata whenua. The tradition ties it to the very first breath of life. When the god Tane made the first woman from the earth, he pressed his nose to hers and breathed into her, and she came alive. Every hongi is a quiet echo of that first shared breath. That is not primitive. That is profound. Now travel to the frozen Arctic, and you will find something the West completely misunderstood. You have heard the Eskimo kiss, two people rubbing noses. That cartoon version is wrong. The real Inuit gesture is called a kunik, and it is not a kiss at all. In a kunik, you press your nose and upper lip against a loved one's cheek or forehead, and you breathe in. You are not rubbing noses. You are inhaling them, drinking in the scent of someone you love. Parents do it to their babies. It is one of the most tender things a human body can do. And it goes on all over the world. Sniff-greetings appear among peoples in Mongolia, across Southeast Asia, in the Pacific Islands. When Charles Darwin traveled the globe, he recorded groups who said hello not with lips, but with a shared deliberate sniff. This was never one strange tribe. This was humanity. But maybe you're thinking, fine, other cultures do it. Not me. I shake hands like a civilized person. So here comes the twist that should make you look at your own hands differently. Because in 2015, scientists caught you smelling people on camera. At the Weizmann Institute in Israel, researchers filmed hundreds of people greeting a stranger with an ordinary handshake. Then they watched what those people did in the next few seconds when they thought nothing was happening. And the hidden cameras caught something no one expected. Right after shaking hands, people raised that same hand to their face. They touched their nose. They rubbed their chin. And when they did, they sniffed. The time they spent with their hand near their nose more than doubled after a handshake. They were smelling the stranger off their own skin. None of them knew they were doing it. Ask them, and they would swear they just shook a hand low. But their bodies had run the ancient way. The handshake, the scientists suggested, may be a socially acceptable way to sample another person's scent. A polite cover story for smelling you. So why does the body cling so hard to this? Because scent is one of the most honest signals a human can send. Your words can lie. Your face can smile. But the chemical leaking from your skin is very, very hard to fake. It tells your deep brain who is family and who is not. Mothers can pick out their newborn purely by smell within days of birth. Babies calm down at the scent of their own mother. That bond, the very first relationship any of us ever has, is sealed nose first. It flags danger, too. When a human is truly terrified, their sweat actually changes, and other people, without knowing why, feel more alert and uneasy around them. Fear has a smell, and the ancient greeting let you catch it before a single word was spoken. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If smell tells us so much, what happened to us? Why do we back away, put out a stiff hand, and start greeting each other from a full arm's length apart? The answer is that we declared war on our own scent. We invented soap and deodorant to erase our smell, perfume and cologne to paint over it with something else. We scrubbed away the exact signal our ancestors spent 2 seconds reading at every hello. We built cities where you stand shoulder to shoulder with 1,000 strangers and never smell one of them. We learned that leaning in to sniff a person is now officially extremely weird. And so a channel of information humans used for hundreds of thousands of years went quiet. But here is the thing about an instinct that old. You cannot actually delete it. You can only hide it. And if you look closely, it is leaking out of you all day long. You sniff your hand after a handshake and call it a nervous habit. You bury your face in your baby's head and feel a rush of love. You wear your partner's unwashed shirt when they are away, just to feel close. Every one of those is the ancient greeting still running in disguise. So the real question was never why ancient humans greeted by smell. Of course they did. Their noses were reading a river of honest information that kept them alive. The real question is about us. Why did we cover ourselves in fake smells, back away to arm's length, and agree to pretend that the oldest, most honest sense we own does not matter? The ancient humans were not sniffing each other because they were simple. They were doing it because it worked. Maybe we were the ones who forgot how to say a proper hello. Tomorrow's file is even harder to believe. In some ancient societies, a man would happily share his wife with other men, and it was not a scandal. It was a survival strategy that kept their children alive. Why did ancient humans share their wives? Subscribe and find out tomorrow.